you plan your speeches out ahead of time, and then as you meet all these great people, you come up with ways to add a few things in. And I'm saying to myself, these people are going to want to know why I'm up here, aside from the good that my company gets to do. So I work for an amazing division. I have an amazing team, but why me? How did I get this job? Where did I come from? And one story that stands out in my mind was a few weeks ago, who started doing their gardening this year? Okay, this is my first year with the house. We've always been condo owners. So now we've got the house, and I'm like so competitive, and I feel like I have to know how to do everything. And a few weeks ago, we were in the yard, my husband and I, and he started just acting like he knew what he was doing. And it's bad when that happens, right? The men think they can take down a tree, and then the roots aren't there, and it's just a mess. So where he's gardening, and he's pulling things out, and he's pulling weeds out, and I look down, and there's a big patch that he pulled out from a root. And I see a bunch of worms in it. And you guys are gonna think I'm totally odd, but this is me. And I see all the worms in it, and I go and I grab it without him looking, and I put it back in where it came from. And then he's digging again, and he hits the same thing, and it falls out, and I see it, and I'm like, oh my God, the worms, they're all like a family, and we need to have them together. So I'm not telling him this because he already thinks I'm tapped out. But I go and I put it back in again. So then it happens again, and he sees the patch. He goes, how does that damn thing keep getting there? And I'm like, Jeff, there's a worm family, and he's like, oh my God, I just can't describe you. So when I think of why I am in the position that I'm in, and I have an amazing team, it's just the real me. You see all these executive women who are so serious, and they've got these VP titles. What I truly believe in, the reason I ended up at a brand like Alex and Ani, is because the true me just wanted to make better in the world, no matter what it was. So that's how I'm driven every day. It's why I've chosen a partner in PeaceLove, because they're just amazing. And it's funny, we partnered with PeaceLove, Jeff and Matt, and we met their whole team and just fell in love with them. We met them last year, actually, in January at a TEDx event. And I saw Jeffrey speak, and I was like, wow, these people are right in Rhode Island. We didn't know about them before, and I was just so touched and moved, and I said, we've got something here in Alex and Ani that helps spread the message, and we really could work with them and help them spread their message. And it was just right away, it synced up. And then if you couldn't tell, I've got a baby girl in the belly, and thank you. And my husband and I went for prenatal testing early on into the pregnancy. And one of the questions on the testing was, what's the history of family mental health? And my husband, we've been struggling for 6 years. His dad is an alcoholic and having a really hard time with it. In and out of rehab, it's just been, I can't even imagine, because I didn't come from that. But knowing him and the family strength, we looked at each other during that question, and we're like, we didn't even know the answer. And I'm sure so many people, I heard a couple of the other speakers say something similar, but we didn't know the answer to that. And he whispered to me, he goes, do we put my dad on there? And we didn't know. I didn't know the answer to that. And I just said, no, we'll leave it out. But it's so important that we are now the generation, this whole room is the generation that's going to be spreading this message and making people feel like, Jeffrey said to me, I want that yellow band that everyone used to wear and know what it meant. That's what I want PeaceLove to be. And my job and my team's job is to help them spread that message. So I want to just share that with you, that it's those moments you realize you don't even know a ton about mental health. So 4 years ago, exactly my anniversary with Alex and Ani is this month. So 4 years ago, I started with the company, took a leap of faith from corporate life. I was totally bored. How many people have been there? Just totally bored, but safe. You're safe, you got the lifestyle, you're used to it. And then I met Carolyn Rafalian, she's our founder. And she had some things to say and just blew me away. It was over coffee. And I'm like, this woman wants to change the world. This is somebody sitting there telling me that she wants to change the world, and she's got all these ideas for it about a message. So people have tattoos, people have things that they remind themselves. Remember you used to tie the little string around your finger back in the day? This is now the way people are reminding themselves of what life means to them or what a special memory means to them. And when I met Carolyn, I said, there was something in me. I went home, I told my husband, I said, I think I was just offered a job. And he said, doing what? And I said, I have no idea. But I really like this woman. It's kind of me and the worms. I said, I really like this woman. She's on to something, and I feel like I can help her. So I joined. I had no contract. I didn't even know what my insurance was. I was crazy, if you think about it. And now I'm standing here as an executive for one of the fastest growing companies in the US. And it's just a belief, and it's a faith, and it's, spreading messages and really having that positive attitude and positive energy. So back then, we didn't even hit $1 million in sales. And then, as Matt already told you, this past May, by now, we've already donated over $10 million to the community. So my team is amazing. Thank you. We choose organizations that we know we can make a difference in. So there's definitely the wellness. There's definitely the health related. A big thing that we're concentrating now on is really mental wellness overall. We'll be working soon with the Heron Project. I don't know how many of you have heard Chris Heron's story about drugs and alcohol and his recovery in that documentary, Unguarded. That's one of our partnerships. We've got the Hanley and Karen Treatment Center, which is about addiction recovery. So we are taking things that are stigma, quote unquote, and we want to make our fans know, who love us for positive energy, know about what's really out there in the world and what they can help. My favorite story, and Kate's here, she handles 6,000 emails a year. But one of her favorite, one of my favorite things that she spread to me was a gentleman wrote to us and said, I have 2 teenage daughters. One is 16, one is 18, and I just have to thank your company because they now know their 2 charities that they'd like to follow through a bracelet. So it's, you hear all this stuff. You guys all live in Rhode Island. Yes, there are crazy times with us. I'm sure you've heard recently. We've been in the news a few times. But deep down, I know what we're all about. I've been there for 4 years. I know what happens behind the scenes, and it really is so positive. So, the people that have been supporting us through everything, thank you, because it's how we are able to make an impact. So how did we meet Peace Love? We started dating, right? We all started dating, getting to know each other, and we met a few times, and then we came up with the most simple of designs. And do we have that? Yes, right there. Create peace of mind. And it was such a simple way of coming up with everything we're talking about today. We just sat there, and their big mission was just peace of mind, peace of mind. And this was actually the first colored epoxy piece that we had done, and it nearly sold out in the first week of sales. We did over, let's see here. We did in social media reach the week of the launch, we did a reach of over 160,000 hits via social media. And those were people who were coming on our website, seeing Peace Love, finding out about them, and wanting to get involved more. So that is our mission. I think that everybody to some degree in this room can find what their mission is, whether it's through your family, your personal life, through your company. There's always a way. Our team is always here to answer and help any ways that you can help spread the message. But I have something really special to share with you that one consumer wrote in to us recently. This foundation is new to me. I have never heard of it until I received the monthly update from Alex and Ani regarding their newest bangle. I couldn't be any more excited. Well, I wish I would have waited 3 weeks before I started my Alex and Ani collection, as mental illness, suicide holds a very special place in my heart. I would have loved for this to be my first bangle, but I am just happy to see this charity as it holds a special place in my heart. I lost my brother to suicide in November of 2009, and his son, 19, currently struggles with mental illness. I was just so excited to learn of the Peace Love Foundation and prayers of mine being answered that mental illness is finding its way out of the darkness and teaming with Alex and Ani. Mental illness is the leading factor in almost all suicides, and family members of mental illness need to become more involved, as I wish I would have been, knowing what I know now. So those are the messages that we receive, and I'm sure all of you have messages in your heart of how you've been touched by mental illness, whatever it may be. I'm a huge believer in leadership. Anybody in here a leader? Right? We're all leaders in some way, whether it's our family or at work. And the biggest thing that I think of in being a leader is it's my job, whether I'm directly affected by something in my life or not, to let my team know what's going on with me, letting them be there for me, but also being there for them and supporting them so that they've got a great work-life balance and they've got a safe place to be able to share their story. I know for most of us in the Rhode Island, Mass, national region, how many people remember our beloved Sam Burns, the young 17-year-old who had that rare disease where he lost his life recently, and he was all over TV. His big dream was to be able to wear a drum in the marching band, and everything was too heavy for him. So his family reached out, and they found a lighter version that they had made directly for him, and that was like his happy place. And I watched his TEDx back when it came out, and he's got a philosophy that I truly believe in. It's something that I've always done, and when I listen to him, I'm like, it really is that simple. So I will end with sharing some of his philosophy with you. So this is his philosophy for happiness. Number 1, be okay with what you can't do because there is so much you can do. Be okay with what you can't do because there is so much you can do. So his big concentration, and I believe in this, is we all have roadblocks. Trust me. We all have them. And it's a matter of focusing on where you're going. And focusing on your happy areas and what you can do. Anybody that knows me knows I am a believer in that. His number 2 is, a lot of people need this tip. Surround yourself with people you want to be around. I wish my mom were on the phone because I would tell her, surround yourself with people you want to be around. Because she hasn't taken that tip yet. She hangs out with crazy people. And then she'll call me to complain about the crazy people who she's no longer friends with, but then 2 weeks later, I'm like, Mom, I just don't get it. But how many people do you know that they thrive off of stressful situations? And I truly learned after going through something personal in my life that you have no tolerance. Once you've gone through something, you don't have tolerance for as many crazy people and as many waste of time things. So the tolerance for negativity goes down, and you learn to embrace yourself with people who bring something out of your life. And then lastly, keep moving forward. There's a quote by Walt Disney, and it says, around here, we don't look backward for very long. We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things. And I can honestly say, for my world at Alex and Ani, we have moved forward continuously through ups and downs all around. My personal life, I feel the same way. The people I surround myself the same way. And I know that Peace Love and us will have a very long-lasting relationship. And I hope that you will all join us in this mission to spread awareness for mental health. Thank you.